Hey kids, today's show is brought to you by the letter 4 and the number potato! I'm a stupid private.
Hey Elemental Foo fan, welcome to another Legend of Korra review. Today's episode is Civil Wars Part 1. The episode begins with Unalaq's forces doing what invading armies do best, oppressing like it's the last day of the big oppression sale.
It takes me back.
Of course, that's just for starters. Unalaq's long-term plans are to have Korra open a second spiritual gateway in the north, creating an instant travel gateway between the poles. But for some odd reason, the southern tribe is pissed about Unalaq's goon squads blockading, giving orders, and wrecking up the place. And the guy leading the charge is, oddly enough, Varric. Did not see that coming. Meanwhile, Tenzin and family are having fun on vacation. When one of Tenzin's kids, her, runs off and gets lost, Tenzin, Kaya, and Bumi set off to find the lost little moppet. Back at the South Pole, Korra's got a lot on her plate, what with keeping the tribes from killing each other and pointing out the obvious fact that Bolin's new girlfriend is a twisted freak of nature. Things come to a head when a group of Varric's rebels that Korra believes is led by her father kidnap Uncle Unalaq. After the battle, Korra discovers that her dad wasn't involved in the conspiracy. Back at the Air Temple, the stress of looking for the kid is bringing out issues between the children of Aang. Hands down, the best part of the episode is the last 5 minutes, so I won't spoil it. This episode is pretty alright.
Such a glowing endorsement.
In keeping with its family infighting theme, the focus is on the fighting in Korra's family on a small scale and the fighting in the Water Tribe on a larger scale. The same dynamic is at play in Tenzin's family, or I should say, Aang's family. They really dive into the bad blood between the three siblings. Bumi, the oldest, is a non-bender in an all-bender family. He acts out by trying to prove that he can do anything his siblings can do. Kaya, who as an adult chose to return home after the death of her father to support her mother, and Tenzin, who was apparently Aang's favorite, seems to be struggling under the burden of rebuilding the airbending people. Back at the A story, I was very surprised to see Varric, who I was thinking was just a comedy relief character, pulling a handsome Jack and becoming a real player. Korra's daddy issues are continuing as she struggles with what she sees as his overprotectiveness and treating her like a child, not the avatar she is. On the surface, Unalaq seems to be giving Korra the proper avatar respect, but with all his special missions for her and talk of unifying the tribes, his main interest in his niece seems to be as a means to his own ends. But just how far do these ambitions extend?
What does any man with power want but more power?
Today, the Southern Water Tribe.
Tomorrow, the world.
Of course! This episode is very intrigue and character-oriented. Practically what that translates out to is lots and lots of dialogue. It's cool to see the cast interact with each other and how the political machinations of a would-be dictator are playing out. There are also some appearances of more practical bending, which is kinda cool. The series' trademark humor is in full effect. Aang's offspring have great comic interaction, with wacky guy Bumi as the standout, and Varric is quickly cornering the market on hilariousness. But Eska and Densa are again a surprise, as they're squarely in the funny character category, what with how they torment Bolin for their and our amusement. But none of them can dethrone the king of comedy, Bolin.
Not what I would call a throne worth fighting for.
Then there's that ending, the emotional highlight of the episode. It's happy, it's sad, it's vindicating, it's almost perfect. But gosh, what a lot of setup to get through. Now let's break down the pros and the cons in Legend of Korra, Civil Wars Part 1. As this is an episodic show telling a very interconnected story, it gets a de facto recommendation, but that's not necessarily a statement of quality. The intercharacter drama is the main focus of the story here, but it's backed up by oodles of humor and that pitch-perfect ending. On the downside, this episode is wordy as a Senate subcommittee hearing, and the action is lacking. But if you're all about the character drama, I can see you really liking this episode. But if you need to see Avatar Korra being the mother avatar of holy elemental smackdowns, you'd probably enjoy a best-of fight scene montage set to speed metal here on YouTube more than this episode. In my personal opinion, all the talking was justified by the character interaction, humor, and that ending.
Private, we get it. You like the ending.
I give Legend of Korra Civil Wars Part 1 3 out of 5. Thanks for watching. I'm the Stupid Private.
That's all, folks.